Hey guys, it's Vicki the Literal Crafter, and I think this is going to be a quick video. I am loving the idea of the glycerin baths for flowers and such, and so I did a little bit of an experiment, and this is to see what the outcome is. So I am blessed with two beautiful birch bark trees in my yard. And when they drop birch bark pieces, I pick them up and press them to use. And I thought, wow, they're pretty fragile. They break easy. So would they do well in a glycerin bath? I should tell you about this. So I can't find glycerin in anything bigger than a 6-ounce bottle. And I know that a lot of people are doing glycerin baths in like big rounded bowls. But I did them in bags because I don't need nearly as much water and glycerin. And then what I do is, this is kitty litter. You could use rice or anything. I just put this on there to really push everything down into the glycerin. So that's how I do it. Typically, you know, I put it in for a day, then I come and I kind of massage this, and like I pulled these apart a little bit to make sure that all the liquid was getting in between. Okay, so that's just how I do it. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's what I do. So let's see how these did in the glycerin bath. I'm curious if we have any discoloration, if anything happened. I don't know if I need gloves to do this. So I'm wearing them just as a precaution. I mean, the glycerin that I have is, I believe it's food grade, so I'm guessing it's safe for my hands, but okay. What I did with my flowers is I just gave them a really good rinse. That's what I'm doing here with this. I may have even used a little bit of soap with the flowers, I don't remember. So nothing special going on here. All I'm doing is giving the bark a good rinse to try to rinse off any of the residual glycerin that might be sitting on top of this. From a feel standpoint, I can still feel the grain and the texture. Color looks really good. And it's not just fracturing and breaking. This tear was here when I put it in. Okay, I'm just going to set these here. I have a table that's covered with microfiber towels. Set those on there. And this is all new to me. The idea of a glycerin bath is pretty new. I saw on a couple different Instagrams and a YouTube that the formula is 2 parts water to 1 part glycerin, so that's what I've been doing. Again, you saw I didn't have a lot in there. I think that bag for the bark was an ounce of glycerin and 2 ounces of water, and that was it. I only had a 6-ounce bottle in the house, and I had already used some for flowers. And I wanted to do 2 more experiments, so that's why I tried to come up with a way to do it without using a lot of glycerin, and the bag seems to work pretty well. So you can see here, there's a layer of bark. So it looks like there's kind of 3 layers to this bark. There's this top almost sheer layer here. Then there's the white layer, and then the back layer that is kind of like the fascia that attaches to the tree. All of it looks good. On this piece, I can see that this top sheer layer, it's kind of rippling there. So probably don't want to rub that a whole lot. Okay, I got one more piece of bark. So some of the shear just as you would expect in water, it's just kind of falling off, but I'm okay with that. I mean, I might even take that off for projects because I really like the white. Okay, so my conclusion with the birch bark and the glycerin is it did fine. What we don't know is now what can I do with this? Can I stamp on it? Can I put inks? Can I use paint? You know, how is that all going to respond on a glycerin soaked piece of bark? Eventually we'll find out, but for now the bark's in really good shape. Wow, look at that. I can even just bend it and it won't break. Oh, that's so cool. And then the other experiment I have, these were in a bouquet of flowers that I had. Let me tell you, it still smells like my dream space of Adirondack Mountains. Oh gosh, that pine smell is so amazing. Okay, let's see how we did here. This, you can tell, it's very wispy. I thought if I could get this to survive a glycerin bath, and it could be a little bit resilient, this could be cool on the gel plate, you know, for some mono printing. It's holding up pretty well, but just as if it were dry without glycerin, the stem is kind of, you can see it broke there a little bit. But all the other pieces are intact pretty well. I'm going to lay it over here to dry. Whoops. There's quite a bit in here, and I'm not going to do it all individually. I don't want anything to go down the drain. So I'm going to create a rinse bath. Now, you're probably thinking, save that water and dye something with it. And I probably could. Yeah, maybe I'll pour that into something. I don't have anything. Oh, here we go. Maybe I'll see if that'll dye anything. I just smelled it to see if it smelled like the woods. It does not. It smells a little dirty. So, again, this is an experiment to see how different things do in the glycerin bath and then to figure out what I can do with them if they survive. Okay, so this is one of those, if you saw my video that I just did on some mono printing, then you saw me use this. This was in a bouquet. And if you can picture it being, you know, somewhat round and full and fluffy. And normally if this was dried, this would just fracture into a million pieces. I did do this previously with a different one, and it held up really great. I was able to monoprint with it. So I threw this one in. Look at how well that holds up. Something that really should be just fragile and falling apart. Watch this. I'm going to wring it out. Just trying to get some of the water out, fluff it out a little, let that dry. Okay, I'm going to grab some of these greens. If you could smell these. Oh, they smell like my Adirondack Mountains. I miss my mountains. Okay. Whoops. So you can tell I'm being very precious about how those dry. Okay, so the experiment was just to see how things did, if they held up, did they discolor, did anything happen? And so far, the outcome is really positive. These pieces of greenery here, they even smell like they did when I first put them in. Their smell didn't change. My brain's going wild about what else can I put in a glycerin bath now. Of course, I don't have any more glycerin at this point. But I do have some things to put in from my bouquet. So I'm going to have to get it sooner than later before they get all dried out and break. Trying to keep this one from breaking. Look at that. That is fantastic. Won't take long for the stuff to dry, especially the wispy stuff. Okay, so I don't know how well the camera's going to show you because that's a dark purple background, but we have the greenery here, pine. We have the bark. We have this wispy stuff. And I'm just going to leave that to dry. And then when everything's done, I will play with it and see what I can do with it and how inks and mediums and all that kind of stuff react. So I'll probably be doing another video related to this sometime soon. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope you have a fantastic crafty day. Bye, guys.